I came into the cinema to step away from all that, and I'm having to watch this. I cannot. Yeah, let's talk about Daniel Etim Effiong's first executively produced movie called The Herd. It's currently streaming at the cinema. I was fortunate to see it at the cinemas yesterday when he was showing for as low as 2000 naira and cinema day yesterday, the 2nd of November. And it was such a good watch that I knew I had to come give you a review as soon as I could. So just in case you're yet to see the movie, I mean, I don't understand why this movie isn't getting enough PR as it should. I saw this with a friend and she said the same thing before I could even say it out of my mouth. Like, she's like, why are people not talking about this movie as much as they should? And it's not like those involved in this movie are not marketing it as much as they should. But I don't know if it's because of the current price of the movie tickets at the cinemas this day, or I don't know. But I think I mean, you can already make a judgment for yourself if you've heard as much as I've had to say so far, that The Herd is something you should definitely go check out before it goes out of the cinemas. Yeah, and I think it's a really good movie that I think you should experience with a lot of people. I'm jumping the gun. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I love that you keep on coming back here to see what I'm up to on this space. I know it's been a month, but that won't repeat itself anymore by the grace of God. But yeah, it's so good to have you on my channel. Please like the video and subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. And in case you're just hearing my voice, seeing my face, seeing my channel, welcome. I am Ronke Suyi. I review movies, talk about web series and TV show on this channel. So yeah, please stick around me by subscribing and liking this video. It really does help a whole lot. We're talking about the movie The Herd, and before I start yapping a lot, let's just talk about the characters, their performances, what I liked about this movie and what I didn't like about the movie. First character I would like to talk about is Daniel Etim Effiong. He played the character of Gussie. He's a father, a friend, a son, and I think he did a good job with his character. I liked how we got to see him evoke emotions as a husband, as a friend who is in a very crazy dilemma, and I think he really did a fantastic job, and I'm happy to see Daniel Etim Effiong play a different character. I mean, we can say he's a versatile character, he's a versatile actor, but considering how we see him play a lot of like lovey-dovey romantic scenes a lot, I mean, I appreciate the fact that we got to see him in a different character this time around, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching him. It wasn't over the top. It didn't do too much, because I'm not trying to give out spoilers. I wouldn't go in depth, but I just feel like he did just enough to convince us that his character was going through what his character was going through. I don't know if that even makes sense in the context of the story of this movie, but I don't know. I don't know what better way to put it. We had the character Kunle Remi. His character was sort of brief in this movie, but the few lines we got from him, it was the usual Kunle Remi, jovial, happy go fellow, excited about life, pumped up about life. We got to see that in him in this character as well. And I thoroughly enjoyed the few scenes we saw him in. We had Genoveva, Umeh, and I wasn't expecting anything less from her, to be very honest. And there were a few times that she was just staring into thin air in this movie. And I found myself telling my friends that this lady is going gaga. Like, she was saying a lot without saying anything. She was saying a lot without saying too much. And that's one thing I really respect about Genoveva Omeh's craft. She's so good at what she does, and she wasn't any different in this movie. She didn't fall short of expectations, and I thoroughly enjoyed seeing her on my screen. We had Emeka. It was brief in this movie, but guy left a mark, and I didn't expect him to be brief in this movie, but I enjoyed the scenes he played in. I enjoyed his dialogue, most especially his lines. I feel like his lines are ones I always look out for, even if I don't understand a chunk of what he's saying, because he's speaking in Igbo sometimes. But is, for the most part of things, like for every time I get to see him in a movie, I always have a memorable scene of ease or lines of ease that I can remember from any movie I see him in. And I think that's a very good trait of a good actor. We had Linda Ejiofor, and I found she played the character of a wife in this movie. And I found myself telling my friend that I went to see that you at least see this woman in just anything. You don't see her in just anything. So when you see her in something, I always really appreciate it. And she brought in her A game in this movie. You would find yourself screaming at her in this movie, you find yourself angry at her, you find yourself empathize with her, you find yourself really sorry for her, because she was just caught up in a very tight and sad situation. We saw her have to literally swallow her pride and beg. Also was able to depict the picture of women that are probably in that situation because of love, because of their want to be with one person, but some situations are not welcoming the idea of them being with that person. I'm trying not to give out spoilers, and I feel like a few women, one or two persons, or one or two women or marriages will be able to relate with her and Gus's story, and the dilemma they found themselves with, family wise. But I really liked that they even threw that in, even in the midst of everything that was going on in this film. I enjoyed seeing Linda Ejiofor's character in this film. I enjoyed seeing even her get so much screen time in this movie. I thoroughly appreciated that. We had Latif Adedimeji in this film. We had Demi Okonlawo in this film. Demi Okonlawo was brief as well. And I think he did a good job. It did a good enough job. Latif Adedimeji played a very different character in this movie, and this guy, I heard someone at the cinema say that this guy is so versatile, like anything we then give him, he go play. And that's so true. And time again, he's been able to prove that with every character he plays, he can always deliver. And he didn't fall short to be this character he played as well. He played character of a pastor. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. We had the character of Tinaumba. She played the parent to Daniel Etim Effiong. And that scene where we saw her in with her husband, the father to Gosi, that's Daniel Etim Effiong's character. I it's a talking point in that movie. It gives room for conversations, and yeah, it just sheds light on the reality of some people actually, sadly. But she did a good job. I mean, they were unbelievable. I found myself saying, "Ha, like, are you kidding me? Are you being serious?" But yeah, Tinamba delivered with her character, and yeah, let's just leave it at that. We had Messia Igbe as well. She played the character of a mom to Genoveva, Umeh's character, Derry, and there was a mistake she made in this film, not like an acting mistake, but like there was an error that our character needed to make for the story to flow better, or to have like a bit of plot twist here and there. And when it happened, we didn't even realize that she made an error until one of the bandits caught on it and asked further questions on it. And I wish I could put clips of people screaming at the cinemas. Like, when we realized that she had messed up, everybody was shouting, and we really couldn't come for her because it was such a motherly concern. It was just the usual questions that mothers will ask you when you've been through a lot, and they're like having to speak to you after a long. They're like, "Oh, how was this? Oh, I'm sorry about this," and she just fell off and mentioned something that could ultimately ruin the investigation process or the operation in its totality. So I I mean, Meshaigbe did a good job. She wasn't in a lot of scenes, but the few scenes we saw her in, we could get that motherly care, concern, fear, anxiety from her. And I think she delivered with her character. We had Amal Umar. And when I saw her, she played the character of Abiba. When I saw her in this movie, I was trying to remember where I'd seen her in. Even somebody on my row was like, that she has seen this girl's face. I mean, I get that at this point you're wondering why I'm referring to the audience a lot, but it's just that even as much as I'm watching the movie, I'm also trying to look at my environment and how people are receiving the movie. Yeah. But back to Abiba, someone was trying to say that her face is very familiar. Like it feels like he has heard or seen her before in something very good. And I'm like, yeah, I think so too. It was when I was going back home, I remember that she was in Sugar Diva, like that. I think that might be a breakthrough series. I'm not sure, but that was the series I first saw her in, and she just stuck on me, her face stuck on me and all that. And she did fall short of expectation in this movie as well. Like, she was ruthless, she was intense, she was fierce, she was very commanding. She was just everything she needed to be, and even extra. And it was a very good performance from her. It was at a point it felt like she even took over from the actual men that were bandits, because we got a backstory as to how she got involved. And you're like, oh, you got involved this way and you have so much audacity and so much temerity like this. Okay, kudos to you. But it just goes to show how fierce a woman too can be when she's in a place of power. About who played the character of Aliu. I liked the I liked the two sides to his character that we saw, the good and the not so good side of him. We had Adam Garba. He played character of an officer, and we had some suspicions about this character in this movie, and we were not right. And the fact that we were not right, I was glad we were not right. But at the same time, the fact that we even had that suspicion in the first place, like a lot of people were saying, like side talks here and there, that even this man, I don't trust him and all of those things. The fact that we even doubted him in the first place, it shows how people have lost so much faith in the law enforcement body in the country. As I was walking out of the cinema, I was telling my friend that I'm actually glad that they proved us wrong, so that at least we have some faith that they are still good eggs in the system still. And yeah, in terms of his performance, it was very good. I was it was so good. I was deeply rooting for him and hoping it doesn't disappoint us in terms of the story, and it didn't. And I totally appreciated that. Now, down to the things I liked about this movie. I liked how each character has evoked different emotions from us. We were empathetic with a chunk of them. We were angry with a few of them. We were sad for a few of them. And even we were so pissed at a few of them as well. Like, I liked how different characters came up with evoked different emotions from us, even when we didn't see it coming. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. I liked the good mix of the three major tribes in Nigeria. And I wish I could talk more on that. But I remember when I saw that, I had to put out a post talking about how tribal war is eating deep into the society, and people forgetting that beyond tribe, beyond your religion, there's a person. I liked how this movie reminded us of that, because most times when we look at bandits and all of those things, we tend to think, oh, it's the Hausas and all of those things, but we forget that few Yorubas in their midst, there are some Igbos in their mix that are working with them, that are informal. There was a saying where someone from another tribe came to tell the bandits that the police were on their way. And I'm like, I really appreciate that scene, because we tend to forget when the tribal war starts, people tend to forget, away from being a Muslim or Christian, away from being Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Efik and all that. There's a person behind this person. They didn't choose to come into this tribe most times. Most times they didn't choose to be from this tribe. But the only thing they can choose to be is the person they are, the individual they are. And I liked how they showed that, sometimes these bandits cannot even have a successful operation if they don't have support system from even people that are not outsiders, people that are not Muslims like them. I think I've been able to drive home my point, but like I don't want to go too deep and get into the scene and start explaining what happened. But I appreciated that we got that scene. I appreciated the fact that the writer thought to write that scene or write that part of the story like that. And I hope that was the message he was trying to pass across, because that was what I got from that scene. I appreciated the ample amount of time that they spent shooting inside the forest. Like, you could tell that someone was saying, oh, they must have shot this movie in a day. And I'm like, that's not possible. Or maybe because you're seeing a bunch of them wear the same outfits all through the movie. But like, it's not possible to shoot that entire movie in a day. It must have taken them weeks and even months. And the way they properly maximize the forest, they shot in different scenes, different daytime, the nighttime, daytime, and all of those things. I really appreciated that. You could tell that a lot actually went into a lot of effort, a lot of intentionality, a lot of inconveniences actually went into making of this film. And it wasn't a very convenient, comfort-filled film. And you could tell that it probably stretched the actors in ways they didn't expect. And that made me even very much appreciate the movie. Lastly, I thoroughly enjoyed the plot twist that this movie threw at us. A lot of plot twists. It's a movie that leaves you at the edge of your seat. I, for one, am not a big fan of thrillers, but I remember the very first 10 minutes into this movie, when it got to a scene when one person was instructed to do one thing or the other, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, there's a lot of evil going on the world right now. There's a lot of conversations, if you know what I mean, on like abuse, violence going on social media right now. Like, I came into the cinema to step away from all that, and I'm having to watch this. I cannot. I remember I stepped out of the cinema for at least 2 to 3 minutes, because I'm like, I can't watch that scene. I can't deal with that right now. I'll come back when things mellow down. And I did just that. But if you're not if you're not a lover of intense thrillers, you might find it difficult. But if you love thrillers, like the person I went to watch it with, she enjoys thrillers a lot. She was looking forward to it. And I think she had a very good time watching this movie as well. I enjoyed the plot twist, even though I'm not a big fan of thrillers. I enjoyed the plot twist. I enjoyed how a lot of things happen and we didn't see them coming. It didn't really take the direction at which a lot of kidnapping or bandits theme movies intend to take. And I think that was one of the beauty of this film. I also like the camera angles, the sound effect, the sound design, there was, I can remember a particular scene where the sound was so intensified, and I can remember how that scene was playing out and how the sound sounded. I don't know if that's correct, but like I can remember the sound I was hearing as the scene intensified, and I liked that. I can still remember that even though it was like a cinema movie. I just played back what I've been recording, and I realized that the chicken that has been making noise outside, I realized that the sound actually got into the video. I thought my mic would have done a good job at canceling the noise, but it did not. So now I know that my mic is not doing its job correctly, and I need to get a better mic because that living thing is doing its own job and I'm doing mine here, but it's clashing. But I apologize for the noise because I'm just thinking of how I can take out the noise during post production, and I really cannot even think of anything promising. So yeah, I was talking about the things I didn't like about this movie, and I mean, if I'm being honest right now, I can't think of one exact thing that I didn't like about this movie. Aside from the fact that maybe I'm not like a big fan of intense thrillers, which is not a fault of the movie, but when it comes to like the movie itself, I can't think of anything I didn't like about the movie, and that just goes to show that this movie was a 10 over 10 minus nothing. And if I'm to rate this movie over 5, I'll be giving this movie a solid 5 over 5, because it just doesn't even make any sense to rate the movie lower than that when I can't even say that I didn't like this thing about the movie. Maybe in coming days, when I ponder over the movie again and again, I'll be able to come up with something that I didn't like. But as of now, or maybe when I see it again when it comes on a streaming platform, but as of now, I I can't think of anything. I mean, I think it just speaks to the success of this movie. I would not have thought that I'll be seeing a movie directed by Daniel Etim Effiong this year. He's such a busy actor. You would, he's such a busy actor that you would not expect that he would, be able to direct his own film. But the fact that I was able to do that, that's such a commendable thing to do. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Like I said, a friend of mine, after I left the cinema, she said she was going to watch the movie, and I recommended that she goes ahead to do. And when she got there, it was sold out, and she was completely sad about that. I wish she had gotten the opportunity to see it yesterday, but I mean, you can still see it today, tomorrow, regardless of when you choose to, at least for this month that is still showing at the cinema. But in case you're yet to see the herd, I think you should definitely see it. It's worth your time, it is worth your money. It will evoke a lot of emotions from you, and it will just remind you that this whole thing of bandits kidnapping can happen to anybody at any time. I mean, this story was written to have happened in Ekiti State, and we've heard a lot of things happen in Ekiti State, in Ondo State, just neighboring states to Lagos State, and all of those things. Even the north, it's more intense over there. Yeah, I've seen the movie The Herd. Let me know what your thoughts are about the movie in the comment section. If you're yet to, haven't you, or would you be going to see it right after this review? Let me know in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. What are you currently watching? What would you want me to review next? Let's chat in the comment section. I'll love to see my next video. But until then, make sure to remain happy because you owe it to yourself. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Bye, guys.